I call Jono Naylor.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank you for the opportunity to be able to rise and take a call on this bill. If there was ever a bill that was an answer looking for a problem, it seems to me that this is it. And actually, I'm actually surprised that the member who has brought this forward, given his sort of Midas touch history with private members' bills, actually has wasted the opportunity around this on such a bill. But there you go. I guess we've got to put anything forward that we think may get somewhere. Mr Speaker, there's three sort of main parts of this legislation, and I want to address each of them in turn. Now, the first one is the reduction of the threshold from 5% down to 4%. And I have got to say that neither within reading the background or the introduction to the bill or any of the arguments that I've seen put forward today have I heard any plausible rationale for that. Now, you could argue that 5% is in fact a kind of just a specific, a random number to some degree. There's not necessarily particular meaning attached to 5%, but neither is there to 4%. And so if we're going to change it from 5% to 4%, why are we not changing it to 3%? Or I guess perhaps the Conservatives might like 3.6% last time. It has equal meaning. It has equal meaning to say 3.6%, 2%, 4%, 5%. To me, there's nothing specific to me that really says that we need to just pick another random number. And in fact, when we look at the other countries around the world who use a proportional system, there's a wide range of numbers that are used. Actually, the most common number used is 5%, but they vary anything from 10% in Turkey down to 0.67% in the Netherlands. And I think, from my perspective, until I hear a specific rationale that says 4% is somehow more of a magic number than 5, that is convincing to me. And yes, I have seen some arguments. All I'm saying is that I'm not convinced by them. I think that's an important part of it. Arguably, Germany has got a very good system operating. A lot of people talk about the success of the German MMP system, and they use 5%. Yes, their threshold is 3 seats to our 1 seat in terms of that, the seat threshold perspective of it. But what you've got to remember, of course, is that Germany has 631 seats in their parliament. So proportionately, the 3-seat threshold in Germany is far lower than the 1-seat threshold within the system we use in New Zealand. Now, when it comes, though, to abolishing the 1-seat threshold as coattailing, as others have described it, initially I did have some sympathy for this. When you look at the 2008 example that's been used at face value, to some people it does seem unfair, and at face value it could seem unfair. However, I think that unless you're going to do away with thresholds altogether, in terms of percentages, actually it's really important. If a party, or if a person from a party, by winning their seat, finds themselves in Parliament, it seems absolutely ludicrous to me that other people from their party, if they have achieved some level of proportionality above the 1-seat allocation, should be there. There's no justice in excluding them if the party is in Parliament. So, Mr Speaker, I think it's no reason that I can see to do away with that if it's about fairness, because whichever way you cut the cake, there's always going to be some argument against fairness. And there's no perfect system. We've just got to get the best system we can. In fact, I've heard it argued plenty of times over the years when we've had parties represented in Parliament who haven't even actually managed to win any seats. And it seems kind of a little bit weird to me that actually sometimes we have parties represented, yes, they might have got 5% or 6% of the vote, but none of the people in their party were actually able to win an electorate seat. Some people have said that actually perhaps we need to have at least 1 seat plus whatever percentage you get. There's all sorts of permutations that we could come up with, but Mr Speaker, I don't think this bill is necessarily, or discussing it any further, is going to take us any further down. Finally, Mr Speaker, it's said that we should, in this bill, review it every 3 years. To put that in legislation, every 3 elections, sorry, my correction. After 3 elections, there should be a review. Well, I'm quite confident, Mr Speaker, that any Parliament will take We'll take a review if and when it's required. At the moment, I don't see the need for us to change anything, and so I won't be supporting this bill.
The member's time has expired.